Aloha, my loves, and welcome to Lemuria Rose Temple. I am Celeste Gluz, and we are going to talk about the summer solstice, some of the activations, some of the themes that I have been living and experiencing. And I want to share this in case any of you are also experiencing the same thing and then wondering, what is going on? So, a lot of what happens in the summer solstice is that there's so much powerful energy coming in from the stars, from the cosmos, from the galactic center, and it's communicating with our energy field, with our DNA, with our spiritual bodies. So, if you are new to working with summer solstice or just solstice and equinox portal energy, I've been working with this energy for about a decade now. It happened naturally. I won't go into my history with it, but I've written a good amount of blogs and recorded podcasts around portal energy. So I will leave the link underneath if this is new to you. But I'm going to go straight into this specific summer solstice of 2024 and some of the things that I've been living and experiencing. Again, just to like ground it, I feel like, first of all, it's important to talk about these things. In the beginning, when I experienced this, and when I say in the beginning, I'm talking about like for many years, I experienced these things, these, I don't like to call them symptoms, but side effects of this portal energy. And because I wasn't able to accept it or integrate it, I wasn't talking about it, and it kind of leaves things in the background and it's a little bit unclear. So I feel it's very important for those of us that are living these things or are attuned to this frequency and are like ready to receive these activations. Let's bring it. That's what we're all here to do. So, also, before I start, Lemuria Rose Temple is dedicated to the divine feminine ascension. So, this is working with portal energy for the process of ascension. And when I say divine feminine ascension, it means it's an embodied, integrated, grounded approach to ascension. I know there's a lot of talk around ascension, and it's sometimes becoming distorted. So we want to bring it into the body and actually walk what has been written and what many before us have done and what many traditions have done naturally. And if you're attuned to the spiritual path and that's what calls you, then you will know that ascension is for you. Okay. So let's talk about the fun stuff, which is the activations and the themes for the summer solstice. First and foremost, I noticed there's a huge exaggeration of whatever theme you are focusing on. So, whatever you are focusing on in your mind, in your words, in your thoughts, maybe you're doing intentions, maybe whatever it is that you are really focusing your energy into, thoughts, mind, action, word, intention. That's all of your energy. That is being really emphasized. And if you are focusing that energy consciously and using it to really uplift you, you're feeling it. You're feeling activations. So for me, I've been working a lot with DNA codes and calling them in. And working with them. And I can feel that activating and showing itself to me. So, whatever it is that you are focusing on or you're deeply desiring and pulling it into your field, that is certainly being magnified. Okay. Dream time, as usual, is pretty insane. It's very vivid. I will say that we are clearing a lot in dream time. So, and this happens a lot around portal energy. So, just being aware of what is happening in dream time and knowing that a lot of these things are just what's happening in dream time is that we're clearing our subconscious mind. And that, of course, includes our fears, our anxieties, the parts of us that we don't want to look at. So if that is happening, just acknowledge and be grateful for what is being cleared. Try not to focus so much and share, put into word, and you're by putting it into word and sharing, you're actually giving it more power. So you can journal, you can bring awareness to it, feel gratitude. Thank you for showing me that fear. Thank you for showing me that subconscious pattern. And I am ready to also, of course, accept it, integrate it, alchemize it, and move forward. Okay. So, in case you're experiencing some of that, also dream time, you might be experiencing some guidance of information, activations, downloads. We have been also receiving a lot of insights, my husband and I, just insights in general, just very clear insights about what needs to happen, where we're standing and where we're going, like where we're actually standing and where we're actually directing our life force energy and intentions and all of that good stuff. So it's just a lot of clarity. And that I feel comes with creating the proper structure and container to receive that clarity. So if you're desiring clarity at this time and that's not coming in for you, create the space for it. I will be inviting you guys into a ceremony. So I do ceremony with solstice and equinox every single time. So what we do is we're actually pulling in this energy and then we're working with it, because I want to remind you that this is not a 1-day event. It's not a 3-day event. It's not a 1-week activation. This energy is coming in and it's working multidimensionally with your light body, with your energy field, with your DNA. And then it's up to us to anchor it and embody it. This is a divine feminine ascension process. This is not just airy, fairy, dreamy. I'm just going to set the intention for 3 days and then let's see what happens, right? It's not what we're doing. So if the ceremony calls you, please join me. I'd love for you to join me in that. It's wonderful because I keep looking back at every ceremony to very clear the intention and the activation that's being charged and grounded. And from one solstice to the equinox to the solstice, it's just, you can see the unfolding patterns that are growing throughout time and building on themselves. And I can see how the energy is guiding us, right? The energy is like our teacher. If there ever is a teacher, it's this cosmic universal consciousness that's always speaking to us, and we have to create a relationship with it. It's not just gonna like tap you on the shoulder one day and tell you have to turn toward it. Yeah. So that's what we do in ceremony and in the Lemuria Rose Temple and inside the Sophia School of Feminine Initiatory Arts. Okay, let's come back to the themes and the topics for summer solstice. Our unique frequency, and this is correlated to receiving a lot of clarity. So our unique frequency and what we're here to actually be and move as an anchor for ourselves, first and foremost, for our loved ones, our homes, our communities. And if you are in a place of leadership or guiding others, then even more you'll feel that very unique frequency that you are here to ground. It's very important to really sit with this unique frequency, because we're speeding up. Things are speeding up. Things are getting faster. So I had all these things that I wanted to do today. And this, aside from, as well as ceremony, was not as part of my priority list. In fact, I had already in my mind said, completely not important, because this and the ceremony is a part of me anchoring in the very unique frequency that's calling me at a higher soul level. And sometimes because of the day-to-day getting things done, grounded approach to living that we must also balance, it's hard to put these things at the top of the list. And I'm not going to tell you how to do that because it's a daily practice to figure that out. I will say that it is our job right now to anchor our unique frequency. And the more we do that, the more it comes to the forefront and the more guidance comes in to support us. So if you haven't created space or time to bring in that unique soul consciousness or soul frequency that you're here to be and to share and to anchor and to embody, um, find some time during the solstice because the portal is very open and it's very supportive of these very unique frequencies. And when I say a unique frequency, when I tune into that, I can really feel a soul lineage behind each of our frequencies. So it's not just you doing this thing alone. Of course, it's a full collective around the world, but it's a soul collective. It's a soul lineage that is behind you, that is waiting for you, again, to turn toward it and say, all right, let's do this thing. Show me, teach me, guide me. Okay. Another thing that I've noticed, and this was actually, it came to me while I was in the midst of some of my practices. So it wasn't something that was very obvious. It wasn't like the insights that have been coming in or the dream time or the DNA activations that they're just kind of like coming in, they're just happening. And it's like, oh, this thing is happening right now. This clarity in terms of what is holding us back energetically, this came in when I was actually in the middle of my practices. So I was creating space for tuning in, for checking in on my energy field, for strengthening body awareness, all of these things. And it became very clear what I have to work on next. Like, this is it. So if, again, you are desiring that, create space, meditate, sit in nature, ask for guidance, tune in. It will come to you. Another thing that I'm finding is that there's a very big refinement on the body. It's, of course, here in the Northeast, the US, it's summertime. So that alongside the solstice portal is really rearranging our bodies for uh, alkalinity and holding higher levels of oxygen and light consciousness. So if you're called to detox, if you're called to eat lighter, if you're called to really refine what you're putting into your body, of course, your mind as well, this is the time to do it. I do run 3-day fast for these portals. So that is something I've been doing for a long time. And you can find that as well on the website. Okay. And I'm looking at my notes. So, yeah, I would have to say the last thing is just bringing more awareness to your process at this time. So, this summer solstice, it really feels like the energy is really redirecting us and really asking us to be precise. So beyond the clarity, it's a different thing to receive clarity. It's another thing to drop in and focus and devote yourself and allow for the redirection of energy to take you. And that's what's happening with the solstice, is that a lot of this higher light frequency is redirecting our focus, our attention, our priorities. So make space to receive that and follow the guidance, follow the nudge. Okay. DNA activations are very strong right now. So if you're feeling frazzled, if you're feeling like you need to rest more, I have been feeling the opposite, which is heightened levels of energy and creativity and a lot of just downloads. So, whatever side of the spectrum you're on, ride it, make the best of it. I'm sure at some point I will also have to deeply rest. I have been deeply sleeping, so sleeping like into deep, deep dream time. So just notice these things because they are shifting you and try not to force yourself or push yourself away from them. Okay. So, with that being said, I invite you to join me in ceremony. At this point, I am recording it right after this. So, it will be a pre recorded ceremony for you. We will be working with some magical elements. I work a lot, of course, with energy. So, pulling in the energy of this portal, grounding it, and then making sure that we are super, hyper, crystalline, diamond clear about what we will be embodying from this solstice until the next equinox ceremony. And that's what we do inside the school, inside the membership, is we become very clear. We direct our energy, our focus, our attention. Remember that as the light quotient increases, the things that are coming at us, the noise, the ads, the politics, the just the bombardment of look here, look here, look here, it becomes a lot more intense. So our job is to pull it back in, come back into our specific role and frequency, and work on that meticulously until the following portal. Okay. So if that calls you, if you are ready to anchor some magic, if you're ready to like, all right, let me get clear, let me anchor, let me really see. And this is the way that I see it. It's just fun in a sense. You have to make this process fun. For a long time, it felt like a lot of work to me. I was like, this is so treacherous. Why did I come here at this time to do this work? Like, this is just too much. And that approach is never supported. So when you can just kind of snap out of that, come into the funness of this as much as possible. What is possible for us right now? What if you could anchor in something ridiculously potent and work with that energy until the fall equinox? How exciting is that? And what I find is that it gives us something to anchor into. It gives us something to return to every day, or we'll talk about it inside the ceremony, but how we come back to that every single day or weekly or however works for you. So if that calls for you, I would love for you to join me. Make sure to subscribe to the email newsletter. There's a lot of beautiful things happening inside the school. I will be working on the evolution of the energy healing training. So I run quantum healing trainings. There's 3 levels of that. I will be starting with level 1, and then we'll be working through to all 3 levels. And I've just released Menstrual Magic for my women out there who are ready to start their womb path and walk an embodied feminine spiritual initiatory path. It starts in the womb. So if womb awareness, menstrual health, natural birth control, fertility, sacred feminine womb healing practices, if all of these things are new to you or you want to explore them, join me inside Menstrual Magic. It is officially live, and there's literally years, basically everything I've learned in the past 10 years since starting the feminine path, that you need to understand about cyclical living, womb awareness, natural birth control, pretty much understanding and connecting with your womb on a daily practical way. It's in there. So if that calls for you, I'd love to see you in there. Okay, my loves, until next time, happy, happy, powerful, potent solstice blessings.